Hello, everyone. It's Ryan O'Hara, CEO of Pitchfire, also founder of Go-to-Market. I'm really excited today because I have the coolest name probably in B2B ever in history. You know what we should do? We should actually tell people. We should tell people a little bit to hype this up. I have Koka Sexton with me. What's up, Koka?
How you doing, Ryan? Thank you for having me.
The stakes feel really high right now. So a little backstory. Koka and I obviously go back. We've done like a bunch of stuff together over the years, but I did a post on LinkedIn crapping on AI automation because all these people have been posting stuff about like, oh, AI can replace your jobs. And like, you don't need AI to do stuff anymore. Like, or it's not quite ready yet. And Koka challenged me and was like, hey, I have AI doing a bunch of stuff. I'm going to prove you wrong. Here we are, enter this conversation, right?
And here we are. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to prove you wrong, but I'm going to show you some things that might make you question it.
Okay. While I'm doing that, I'm going to actually, I do want to make sure that people are aware that you're working at Interrupt Media. Do you want to tell people about that really quick?
Sure. So Interrupt Media is a B2B marketing agency. We focus on RevOps, demand gen. We do content. We do everything a typical B2B creation agency will do, but most of our clientele is in the RevOps and kind of content space. And most recently, we've been moving into automations and AI and helping companies build mini agents that basically act as little employees, driving leads and sending out emails and other stuff.
Cool. So if someone needed to get some help from this, some of the things you might see today, Koka could help you with, right?
Yes, and you can always find me. I'm just Koka Sexton. I'm everywhere. Twitter, LinkedIn. It's not Twitter anymore, but I still call it Twitter.
Me too. I'm a holdout. I still do it.
Yeah, I'm always Twitter to me. You know,
I don't get it. I don't get why they changed it. They messed things up. All right, we got some banners up so people can find us. We're ready to cook. Let's talk about this. So how are you using AI right now in your marketing stack?
Well, let's back up a little bit because I think there's a story to tell. And I feel like at some point, the listeners and yourself, you're going to figure out where you are in that kind of progression.
Okay.
So, just a few years ago when ChatGPT became more commercialized, everybody started using it. And it was fun because you could create a text document of Batman getting into a fight in a Shakespearean, language, right? Like you could do all this really fun, catchy stuff, but nobody knew how to use it. So the idea of creating content from all of this and emails and stuff, like it became very apparent that it was capable of doing it, but everybody was getting really shitty results. Yeah. And so it really came down to prompts, and you keep hearing it, prompts. Like it's all about the prompt. And in many ways, it really is. It's all about the context that you're feeding the system, garbage in, garbage out. If you ask, write me a blog post about X, it's going to write you a very generic thing. But if you give it, 15 paragraphs worth of context and then say, now write me a blog post on this topic, it's going to be much more in depth, right? And I realized that really early on. And so we started building these little systems that would write blog posts for companies. We had a client that was selling a database software, and they were selling it mostly to accountants. And they started realizing that they were getting inbound from lawyers, just like law firms, because something about their software worked really well tracking time for lawyers. And they're like, we have this product, but we don't know how to sell to lawyers. We're all like, they were all accountants. Yeah. And they're like, we have some ideas, but we don't know how to message any of that stuff. Well, they came to us, said, hey, this is our problem. Well, I thought about it and said, well, if a company came to us typically and said, this is my problem, we need a whole new messaging framework. We need a whole new audience to understand all of this stuff. What would it take? That would be 30, 60, 90 days worth of work. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, right? Like that's how long it takes to figure out your audience and messaging and all of that stuff.
So you're transposing stuff for accounting for law firms, basically, right?
Yeah. And so how does the same software features functionality now speak to lawyers as opposed to accountants? Well, we just trained an AI on what a lawyer cares about, how they talk about things, what vernacular they use. And then we dumped all the content from this company's website. We literally just scraped this company's website, pulled it in and said, take all of this. Now, how do I message this to a lawyer? And it created us the entire messaging framework, campaign ideas, blog post topics, categories in like 30 minutes. And I was like, we're onto something here. So that became the proposal agent, where we could basically take a company coming in saying, hey, here's my company, here's what I want to do. And it would build out an entire framework of a campaign. So initially just intake became easier for us because we knew how to build a campaign around somebody's innocuous request. Because most people come to agencies and they have a general idea of what they want, but they don't always know details of what they're going to need. They just know my leads are stuck. Well, what does that mean? Well, this thing broke it all down.
All right. So for the people that are new and don't understand
Okay,
this,
sorry. Was that too nerdy?
no. Can you tell people what an agent is? Because everyone thinks we're talking about Agent Smith from
Yeah. And I think I might actually be wrong. I'm going to get a bunch of hate in the
No, I'm
comments.
not.
So
I'm
the
not
way-
judging. I can try.
No. Yeah. So I think an agent is an autonomous automation that runs through some type of LLM. So, for example, we have automations that will grab a LinkedIn profile, enrich it with a bunch of stuff, take that enrichment, write an email personalized to that individual, and then drop it into a Google Doc. That's an automation we do, and we run 10,000 contacts through that thing a day. That being said, it's manual because I'm pulling the list and I'm putting it in there and I'm hitting start to run the list. All an agent would do is I would automate that process where I just take the list, drop it into a Google Drive folder, and the next thing I know, it just spits it out the other side without me touching anything. That's really what I think of as an agent. It's something that is.
How do you actually, if you're a marketer watching this, how do you actually take that idea, that workflow you just talked about, and physically make the agent to do it? Do you just ask AI to help you code it, or like?
So yeah, I mean, you can. Quite honestly, right? You knew me a long time, and you know that I'm kind of a nerd, but I'm not that technical. Like, I just figure crap out. Like, that's the whole social selling thing. That's where it came from. The whole LinkedIn automation, that's where it all came from. Like, I just wanted to figure out how to get things done. I think I'm lazy at heart. That's what my parents used to always tell me. And so because of that, I would just find the simplest ways to do things. And you go into these systems and you either watch YouTube videos. I watch a lot of YouTube. I got my master's from YouTube. And I go in, and if I don't know something, I ask ChatGPT or Perplexity or whatever the system is I think is going to give me the right answer, and then I build it from there. But yeah, I'd be happy to show you what some of these things look like if you want to see them.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make sure you're not giving away client sensitive data or something, because I don't feel like editing it and blurring people shit out or something. So like, if you need like dummy information, let me know and I can give you something. I
can do this. I got this. Let me just make sure that I'll just share certain screens.
Yeah,
and it'll be safe.
Thank you for doing this, by the way. It's cool. Like,
no. So, and the thing is that I built these things for the agency. And my boss, Ben, was like, this is amazing. We can sell this. And I was like, you think so? And he's been kind of pitching me out, and I've been like kind of evangelizing this. And we're getting people saying, I want this. And so there's a whole another story to tell with all of that. But anyway, let me see can I share my screen?
Yeah, you should. You might have to give permission to your computer to do it, because we're super good production people. Look at us, guys. If you haven't done on StreamYard before, but while Cook is getting that set up and teeing it up, and I'll get it presented when you have it ready. I do want to tell people that I think there's a ton of busy work that marketers have to do, and you can kind of replace some of that stuff with AI. My issue I had on my initial post, I was using ChatGPT to go through Pitchfire user data and help me organize and structure which people were sellers and which people were like prospects on Pitchfire. And I might have a couple thousand records that I want it to clean through and go through. And what it would do is it would literally spit back and only give me 10. And I'd have to redo it again and again. And this is on a professional license too. It's not like I'm skipping out and not paying for it.
Yeah. I might be able to help out with that next time you have a project like that.
All right, cool. All right, okay. So we're gonna do a screen share. This is Koka's screen right now. He's giving us his secret.
So I'm gonna go through a couple of things. This is one most people want to look at. This is the lead enrichment. So as you'll see, this is Airtable. Everything I use is tools that are all freely available to everyone, or at a very low cost.
Yep.
So I use Airtable as the database. And so for Airtable, I have this tab called Input. And I literally just drop in a link to a LinkedIn profile, might be a link to somebody's post that somebody posted, could be an Apollo link. There's lots of things that this thing can search through.
You should do one that's from my post and be like, Ryan O'Hara was wrong.
I'll do that next.
Yeah, you should do that.
And so what happens, this is the automation.
Wow.
So from this input of just a link, all I do is drop in a link and I set the status to ready to run. And then this thing runs. And then this thing runs every hour and a half because I'm always dropping stuff in here. And what it will do is it takes that link, it then stores the link, and then goes through one of a few paths. If I'm trying to enrich your LinkedIn profile, because I just have a LinkedIn profile link in there, it goes through, it scrapes the profile, it looks at the profile, it uses ChatGPT to then enrich your headline, so the part that's in your headline, so it starts giving more context about you. And then it uses Perplexity, which is just another AI. I use Perplexity instead of ChatGPT because Perplexity does a much better job when it comes to Google searches, searches in general. So it creates a dossier. And the dossier is, here's everything I know about Ryan from your LinkedIn profile and what I can grab from the web. Because I'm pulling it from your LinkedIn profile, and then I'm doing a Google search on you and pulling down anything that Google has on you and your name. It's running it through Perplexity and saying, write a dossier on this individual. Tell me who this person is. What do they care about? Where they lived? Where they go to school? If I was a salesperson, how would I approach them based off of what I know? So that's the dossier. And then it does a company lens, and it says, tell me about the company. What's happening in their 10K if they're a public company? Like, it researches that. It researches if they've had any recent news, any bad news about them, any good news, any recent hires. Perplexity, the prompt. In fact, I'll show it really quick. So I'm using Sonar overview, and so here's the prompt, and it's asking all of this information from Perplexity. This is what I meant when the prompt matters. You can ask it something simple, or you can ask it something complex. So it's getting all of that information, and then it goes and it says, now write me an email to this person based off of all this information I know. Make it personalized, make it sound like it's human. I'll show you what kind of some of that looks like.
This is, by the way, this is very cool.
So here's who I am.
Yeah.
This is what I do. Here's all the information. Here's all the data. Here's your dossier. Here's your full name, your education, your skills. Take all this and now write the email. And I want you to write it exactly like this format. This is how you get the consistency. And then it does a QA, which is even more important because even though it does all this, sometimes it makes mistakes. This QA just literally validates that this is correct. If yes,
you notice it looks like you're using OpenAI.
It's GPT. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Perplexity, and that's ChatGPT over here as well.
Yeah. Was there
an
A/B test and realize one was better? Is that kind of like
anything that I need a actual result from a search from, I always use Perplexity. And maybe ChatGPT has gotten better in the last few months, but when I first started setting these things up, it wasn't very good. Perplexity is on point every single time when it's citing a source. ChatGPT was making up sources a bunch of times and it became unreliable. So Perplexity is always 100% correct when it says, here's what I got and here's where I found it. It's never failed me. So I use that for anything that I need a resource from.
All right, so you run QA. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, it's fine. So then runs the QA, and then it drops everything back into Airtable. And I'll show you that in a second. And so it does that across a profile. This one right here, this is the fun one. Now, you post something, you get 75 likes and 100 comments. I want to know everyone who commented and liked your post, Ryan, because every one of them could be my customer next. There's a billion use cases for this. I take that link, I copy the link from your post, I drop it into this, it goes through, it goes and extracts all the people who liked and commented on the post, and then puts it into a spreadsheet, analyzes it, and then does the same thing it does up here, where it literally goes one by one and takes your profile, does a Google search, and then enriches it and creates a profile and dumps it into Airtable. And then does it all these systems. And so what it ends up looking like is the enriched contacts, where I have all these profiles, I have the emails, I have a dossier on each person. So this is the dossier on Matt Laddie. You can see what that looks like.
Yep.
How I would talk to them, company overviews, everything that's happening in their business based off of what my request, all their information, how long they've been in their company, all that other stuff. And if I want to know specifically, what was that comment that they left? Well, I can see all the comments. And then I can see a classification. Was that comment something that would trigger me to want to do business with them? Maybe they just said, Ryan, good job. Not interesting. But if they said, Ryan, I need that, whatever you were just talking about today, that would help my business. Set it up so that it listens for those cues inside of the comments. And it's like, this is somebody I want to talk to. And so it filters those through even faster for me to reach out to.
What do you do to actually do the contacting? Like, what are you using to actually email and have it get directly and stuff?
So as soon as, so in here, if I go to enrich contacts, around, if I go to someone and I say status, send the email, what it does is it runs a second automation. It takes that email address and it throws it into Instantly, which is the email platform we use. And it goes directly into a campaign that we've already set up that takes all of that information that we have and sends that customized email to them.
And the things that it prompted and wrote inside that spreadsheet in Airtable just come in.
It's what leverages. Yeah, which is what this is doing right here.
Wow. And how's it work? Does it work well? Like, what are the results?
It is working well. I think it always comes down. This is the age-old problem with marketing, is it's messaging and timing, right? So we were testing this out initially. When we first built this, we were the traditional agency. We were going after rev ops and marketing ops and like those types of contacts. And we just were hitting a wall, and we're like, well, it's not the system. The system's working, but like the messaging's off. Once we started turning this around and trying to sell this system to other people using the system, we started, Ben's, always on a phone call.
Wow. So this is,
that's one system.
Do you QA it though? Like, do you look at some of the emails that get sent and what it's building?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. No, so the emails themselves that go in instantly, they're already pre-programmed. So all this AI is doing is validating and creating one opening hook for the email. The rest of the stuff in Instantly, it's all just regular email because the campaign is always the same. And then when we switch campaigns, we'll switch this to a different campaign. So this campaign is all AI agents. That's all we're pitching through this. So it might say, hey, Ryan, saw you like that post from Koka Sexton. He's a fun guy. By the way, if you're looking for AI stuff, here's what we do. You want to talk? And then that's the email, right? So it's only customizing that first section based off of whatever intent or interest was on the front end.
So do you guys consider this RevOps?
I don't know. And I think there's a, I don't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but somebody calls this go-to-market engineering.
Yeah, it's like a popular term that
Clay. It's like is that what it is? Is that Clay thing? Okay, because I heard it and I was like, well, that's an interesting term, but that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, so
because it's not ops, it's not marketing, but it's a lot of things in one, right?
Yeah, so like Clay's we both know what they're doing because we both have worked at big B2B companies and done category creation, but they're like, you make a new job up. Like Gainsight famously did this with the term customer success.
Well, that's what social selling was, my man.
Hey, I was about to go there. That's what I was going to say. I feel like you popularized social selling.
Right.
The question is, did you do it at LinkedIn or Inside View? I think it's like
I did it at Inside View.
Yeah.
Story I love telling is, the interview process from going from Inside View to LinkedIn should have been much more straightforward. But what got me was they said, Koka, you're already the talk of the town on the local news. You are the guy the local news team wants to have on the channel. We're going to put you on CNN. And I was like, sold, let's do it. I had a really big ego back then. So that's one system. I can show you the content system we built first.
Yeah, sure. Let's if I just don't want to, I don't want to don't over
if you're this, man, I'll show you as much as I can. So This is the content system. And all I need is a funnel stage, an audience, and a topic. So for funnel stages, obviously Mofu, Tofu, Bofu. An audience, we talk to these audiences. Every company is different. We've built these for other companies and, they talk to, CFOs and accountants or whatever it may be. Like you just set the audience to whatever the audience is.
Yep.
And then you need a topic. And then what gets spit out is a blog post. One second, paste Markdown that has all of this.
I didn't know you could switch to Markdown.
I didn't know either. It's a new thing they added in the last couple of months, and it saves me so much time.
Yeah, definitely.
I just have to go to another site and convert it and then bring it back.
There were plugins you could use to do it, but keep going. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, quick tip: Google. So here's the blog post, and then I got my meta description that I put into Yoast for in WordPress. I got my keywords. It gives me an email based on the blog post. And what I'll do is I usually will link to the blog post within the email when I post it or share the email. I got my Twitter post. I got my LinkedIn post. I've got the raw article. I'm going to go through all of this detail in a second.
I can't
and then I've got all of the research.
I can't wait to figure out if you have distribution automated too.
Just wait.
All I did was criticize ChatGPT on it.
Well, and this is what I'm saying. I don't know if this isn't so far out of the trend because I'm learning these things from people and then making them my own, right?
Yeah,
and then adding stuff to it and other stuff. I'm like, or I hear one person say something, I hear another person say another thing, and I say, I could do those two things. And what if I put those two things together? It would do something even better. And that's what a lot of this is turning into. So what this automation does is, actually, here's all the scenarios. Let's go to last. So this has taken a lot of different iterations, but this one's super easy. All I do is I take my topic. So I set it ready to run. And then I use Perplexity, again, better for all this type of research stuff. And I say, here's my topic. And within the last 12 months of now, which is whatever day I run it, look at these searches and find me a bunch of stats. So it finds stats. It does some extra research. This one's very specific to numbers and data. This one is just more trends and ideas and concepts around the topic. It writes it, takes all of that and writes an article, I think it's like a 1,200 word articles that I ask it to write in for all of that. And then it finds the high intent keywords based off of what I've told it high intent keywords are within this article. It grabs those and then goes into this formatter, which is the editor. So it takes that entire article, all of the keywords, and then it runs it through. This is my human editor or my robot editor. So here's the assistant. This is the context of my business. Here's everything you need to know about Interrupt Media, what we do, who we talk to, how we sell things, what we sell. Here's some links to some stuff, everything you might need to know. Then it says, here's your next assistant. You're the expert editor for us. This is your audience. This is your topic. You need to talk exactly like this, specifically in this voice and tone. Don't use words like this because those are dumb. Here's the next assessment. Here's my internal links. And I have to edit this out. There's a way to automate this also. I can do this for clients, but I haven't done this for myself. It's like the cobbler in his shoes. Basically, here's all my internal backlinks. So basically, here's my sitemap for my website. And every time you write an article, I want you to reference a relevant article from my sitemap. So that's all this is. And it goes through and here's a bunch of links to our blog
Do
posts.
you have to put these things in?
No,
Like,
I do it once.
Yeah.
No. I do this once.
Yeah. So
Let me show you how this works. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's all the backlinks. So here's internal links. So here's blog post to blog post, and here's landing page. So here's like an actual conversion point. And then it says, now write me my 800-word blog post like this. Okay. And here's all the context. Okay. So that's the formatter. From there, it's going to write a blog title. It's going to generate my newsletter, which is the email, the LinkedIn post, the tweet, everything you saw in that Google Doc. Now, do you want me to actually run this before you live really quick?
Yeah, let's see it.
Let's use an old topic, and here we go. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to zero this out.
Remind me to give you this recording after you can take the transcript and turn it into a blog post.
I appreciate that, man. I don't know how much time you got, man, but we can go through a few things.
Yeah, let's keep going. That's fine.
All right. So all I have is a topic, B2B CMO, bottom of funnel, and I'm going to switch this to ready to run. Okay. If I sort this really quick, last modify.
While he's doing sorting, I just want to let audience members know that I'm in a room upstairs and it's 100 degrees outside and I can't have you on.
And I want to keep them on as long as possible.
Yeah, so like, if you see me sweating, I'm not sweating because the future of marketing is going to completely be automated. I'm sweating because it's hot in here.
Okay. All right. So that thing's set, ready to run. This thing should go. If I hit run, you're going to see, so we can see it. All right. So it's at the top. You see it?
Yeah.
There's nothing here. There's no article, no keywords, no research, no stats. It's not
Yeah.
I'm going to hit start. It's going to run. You're going to see it grabbed it. You're going to see that it's measuring ROI. That's the article. It's now grabbing all the stats. It's now Perplexity's out there doing its job, doing all the research that I would normally have an intern trying to find for me.
While it's doing that, quick question for you. Can you inject the Koka personality into your stuff? Like, can you change based on how you've written in the past and stuff?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So what do? You just like submit a bunch of stuff that you've done and train the model? I mean, we used to do that stuff at IQ with emails and stuff, but
yeah, and it's actually isn't as hard as a lot of people think it is, because there's a lot of commonalities between the way people speak. So the best thing for you to do is to record yourself talking, take that raw transcript down, and then give the AI a prompt of like analyzing your speech tone patterns and vernacular, and it basically creates a concept for you. And then you can kind of use that and say, from now on, this is how I speak. And it's usually pretty good about it.
Okay. So it's
right. So this thing's running.
Pushing it through, right? Yeah.
Yep. So it's at keywords. This part usually goes pretty fast. This part takes a while, but once it gets to blog title, it moves quick. I'm actually going to try and find something else while that's running.
Do you guys just, when you actually want to publish, do you like look at it in Google Docs and then move it over, or does it automatically do something?
Right now, what we do is we have a team that looks at it, make sure that everything lines up, and they send it over. It literally takes them 2 minutes per article.
Yeah, you just want to make sure you're not posting something like what happened with like Grok last week with the Hitler stuff, right?
Exactly.
Have you had anything scary like that ever happen, Koka?
No. Yeah, well, because we don't use Grok to run our
right. Just in case someone just missed the story.
It's going fast. We're going to see this thing pop up. So this thing's going to populate. You're going to see this thing fill up with a bunch of information really quick.
Wow. That's just crazy. You just have a library of content here, and obviously you don't want to put it all out at once.
All of this. Oh, why not? Google doesn't care when it goes out.
Oh my gosh, man. This is crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I feel like
here it goes. It took a little while to write the tweet. Okay, so the Google Doc is done. So now if you come in here, you'll see it's all populated, right? And now if I go to my Google Doc, see, paste markdown. So this is what the team would end up doing. So I'll write this into the instructions. There's certain things that I have to go in and tweak on these things when they find it. So like it shouldn't say the pain, because I'm asking for it to write a pain point. Yep. So I'll go back into LL and say no longer say this. So that the team would literally come through here, look at that, hit delete, move on. Is it there? Yep. Delete. They move on, and then they're done. By the time they get here, they're done editing. They copy paste, throw it into WordPress. That's all they ever do on these things. So here you go. We got the blog post. We have a backlink. Goes to a blog post of ours. It included another backlink to a landing page. Oh, that's the blog post. The other one must have been the landing page. But you can see it's fairly well written. You can tell me it's got stats and data. It's talking about slashing costs by certain percentages.
Could you have it inject sources from third-party links?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So here's the CTA. So in the blog article, do you want to talk? So then there's all the stuff that I would put into WordPress. So meta description, keywords. Here's the email that relates to the blog post that we just made. Here's the Facebook, LinkedIn post. We can make those long, as short as you want. And then here's the raw post. And so the raw post is what it does before it goes to the editor. And in this place, this is where you usually find a lot more of the actual stats and things that are being put in. But if for some reason I want to put in a stat specifically to something that is in the article, I have all of the research in this document. So everything it found through Perplexity, through both of those runs, are all included in this doc for me for later. So I can look at all of this and be like, oh, I actually like that bullet point really well. I'm going to add that in the document. So I might go through as the editor, or somebody at a company might go through and do it, but you don't need to, and actually find even better nuggets to throw into these articles. So here's all the research, here's all the stats, and that's it. And I can create 100 of these articles an hour.
Are you guys using AI for images and stuff too for these things?
Yeah. So the team, what they'll end up doing is they use Midjourney, and they just take this with some other small prompting and they throw it in there. And they just creates all of the images that you would see on the Enrichment blog.
All right.
So
these images. Not to be weird though. Yeah, let's go. Can we look?
Yeah. So this is the blog post.
This is the one you just showed us? Or no?
No. This is like an example of what a final product looks like, right? So It's got the blog post. The team might go in and like create, a little image in Napkin for us. If you guys don't know what napkin.ai is, you guys should check that out also. But yeah, so we created all these articles.
I'm sure this is one of the questions people listening are going to ask. How much does all this setup to cost?
Not a lot. So Airtable's free.
Yep.
Make.com, the automation tool, is free for the most part. Like you get, I think, 1,000 runs, 1,000. You pay per action that it runs through. So each time it ticks, it's one. So I think you get like a few thousand for free every single month. But we obviously pay for it because we're running thousands and thousands of these actions a day. But I got started doing all of this for basically $20 a month. Right. The same thing I was paying for ChatGPT, you can build these automations. You still have to pay for the AIs themselves. So I have API access into OpenAI, into Perplexity. I have to pay every time I use that. So there's cost for some of it. But again, let's be clear about the cost of using the AI. I can write 500 articles using ChatGPT. If I were to just say, write me 500 articles and give it 500 things to write about, that would cost me about $7 to run.
From the
automation.
Yeah, the API calls, right?
Yeah.
For people that don't know what that means, like you can go access through a backend and run queries as if you're using.
Yeah, that's all this is doing right here. So all this is doing is using the backend.
We can go back. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I'm not even looking.
Good. You're good. Yep.
Yeah, so this is kind of what the backend would look like. So I can ask it to do whatever I want. I can say, in fact, I can do a lot of things. In fact, I have another automation that runs transcriptions because I can run transcriptions through AI. I can edit images. I can generate images. I can do anything really. And if it's not native within make.com, OpenAI probably has an API on their backend that I can just use on my own, which is something I have to do from time to time. So I can create all of these articles, as you saw. Yep. I create my carousel images. So, we got this one that's about to launch about LinkedIn over the years. It's going to show different parts of LinkedIn, but all of these carousels are all generated through AI.
Wow.
We have landing pages. So all the landing pages for those assets, if we get created, the landing page itself gets created through AI, and then we log everything here. We're getting to a point where we're going to start creating videos, which is going to be really exciting.
Is that using VO3 or Sora?
No, well, actually, we're not sure yet. There's ways to use this with just Midjourney and some other. There's free tools that you can tap into with APIs and just create videos.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's a company too that you can use. I know Vidyard has a product that's coming out that's like this too, that's in beta, but you can like record yourself even if you wanted to, right?
Right. I mean, there are videos that I've posted on LinkedIn of me talking that is not me talking. It is 11
crazy.
Labs. It's 11 Labs and HeyGen. Great tools. Like
that's crazy.
They get engagement.
And just out of, I'm just asking this just because it's interesting. Are you happy with the quality of these things?
The videos?
Everything. Yeah, just in general. Are you
happy? Yeah. Again, and I don't know. I think this is what I posted on your LinkedIn post that kind of kicked off this conversation. There have been clients that have come to us and said, "Hey, we want this," or I've come into existing clients that the agency already had and just built something simple so that it freed 4 hours a week up from somebody on the team.
Yeah.
Somebody on their side leaves and they're like, "Hey, who's going to manage this?" I'm like, "You don't need to manage it anymore. Let me just build this other system that's going to manage all of it for you." And then we walk away from it. And we just check it every couple of weeks. And so they're like, "Oh, now I don't need to hire that ops person, or I don't need to hire that, intern again to do whatever, because we now have a system that built it." It's actually kind of scary. I had a conversation with George Soto the other day, and part of that conversation was about like the future of the workforce.
I was texting George today. That's crazy.
Yeah. So the other thing, if you don't mind me showing a few things.
Yeah, sure.
We've built custom GPTs. So we have these automations. But if I don't need 1,000 of something and I only need like 4 or 5, maybe only one, I create a custom GPT for it. So like the action figure thing, once I started kicking those off, I created a GPT that just created them for me. So I didn't have to like manually create them all.
Yeah, so I don't think I've actually done. I made one GPT and then I never used it. after I made it. So like, it's basically you're training it to remember certain information.
Yeah.
So it writes.
Let me show you my prompt architect. So you have to have a paid version of ChatGPT in order to create GPTs.
Are you doing this on Pro or on the other, or like, is this the $200?
Pro, it's whatever no, it's like $20 a month, whatever it is.
Yep.
And so this specific GPT, all it does is it helps me write prompts better and faster because it's all in the prompt. So here's your instructions, designing the prompts. Here's what I need you to do. Here's what a negative prompt looks like. If you're, creating images, this is what I need you to figure out. There's a JSON context. And if you guys don't know what JSON context is, I'm going to show you in a second because it was the game changer. So these are all the instructions. And then if I want, I can add files down here, but I don't need the prompt architect. But if I open something like Automation Builder, so this helps me write the files that go into make.com. So if I go into Edit GPT and I go to Configure, you're going to see that
I know where this is going.
And so now, because I've fed it all of these blueprints from make.com that I've created, I can now ask this to create me a brand new JSON code that I then copy, paste, and then drop it back into make.com, and it's creating my automations for me.
That's how you're doing this stuff. Like, look at who liked this post or commented on this post. Is you're training it to look at the JSON.
I just ask it to do a lot of other stuff. So we've got, let's see, God Mode Strategist, SEO Gold, let's see, Article Bot. Oh, here, let me show you this JSON code exactly, really quick. So if I say I need a prompt to do deep search on a celebrity, provide me in JSON context. So instead of it giving me a prompt that's like, here's a bunch of paragraphs, it writes it in a code. Have you seen these before?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay. So what the code does is it breaks every element down into its own code base, basically. And so you get much more refined answers. And so, for example, I'll show you an example of image context profile, because I like to play around with these things. So I found this post. I just took a screenshot of something I found on, I think it was Twitter or Reddit or something. I was like, give me the context profile. It creates it all. And then I was like, now make one that uses Elon Musk, make one that uses Sam Altman. And it literally just creates it for me. And it looks exactly like that original. And so this concept works really well on images. It works better, but it works really, really well, better than a normal prompt for a text-based prompt as well. And so that's what I use. So I use custom GPTs for anything that's one-off. And then I use the automation builders for anything that I need to create 1,000 of.
So do you make these, or are you finding ones that were made by other people?
I make all of these. I mean, you probably saw a few in that. If you looked at the sidebar, you probably saw a few that have been made by others. But I'd say 90% of what you saw in that sidebar is from me, because I've needed to create something to speed myself up.
This is like, it's cool because everybody talks about doing this stuff, but no one actually goes into the tactics and lifts the hood.
I love going under the hood. And the thing is that, I don't think I'm doing anything monumental. And then I show people and they're like, holy shit, Koka, you're moving mountains.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of like, maybe I should get out of marketing. I'm like, oh man. No, like people throw around the GTM engineer thing, like, because they use Clay.
Yeah.
Like what you just showed us is like what that really is.
Well, I've replaced Clay in some ways, right? Like that was part of the other thing, is that I realized that a lot of this stuff is already publicly available. Once I became nerdy enough to understand what an API was, I felt like the world just opened up and all the information was just in the cloud for me to grab. And I just started getting it all.
Koka, do you think any marketer watching this could do this? Or do you think you have to have certain...
Yes, I am not smart. I graduated high school by the skin of my teeth. I didn't go to college. I was in the Army. I was digging foxholes.
Yeah, you're a military guy. I remember.
Yeah, right? I am not an MIT graduate that's going through and building code bases. Like, I just watch a bunch of YouTube videos and I try and figure things out because, again, I think it's because, as my psychiatrist tells me, it all comes back down to my parents. Like, it was because they told me I was lazy. And so I just figured out the fastest and easiest ways to get things done. And then I try and force multiply myself. So how can I do the work of 20 people? And that's what I figured out how to do, I think.
That's just crazy, man. That was all right. So I have to figure out how to make this into a post now that apologizes and says, hey, but the big question for me is the quality up to snuff for me. Because I'm a quantity machine though. Like I'm someone that
go through a blog post for the last 12 or last 6 months on any website and let me know if the quality sucks. It's getting better. In fact, what we didn't talk about was zero click. How AI snippets are showing up. It's not even about SEO anymore. Like SEO is still not. Google's always not going to go away anytime soon. But how do you show up in these interstitial AI snippets? Like we try to get that done also.
The big theme of what I'm doing with my, for people that don't know, I'm doing a go-to-market summer camp. And you
have to go to the summer camp.
Yeah, I'm peddling the camp. The big theme is zero click. like running in a marketing world with zero click. Because I think that that's completely true.
That's the future.
Yeah.
That is going to be the future. And so how do you build your blogs and your website in a way that these AIs are going to crawl them faster? And all the information's out there. It's not getting disseminated very quickly. Oh, I didn't talk to you about distribution yet, but I don't know if we have time.
Yeah,
but
maybe we'll do a part 2 and talk about that or something.
Yeah.
I'm very hot. But the question is, am I really talking to Koka or is this AI Koka?
This could be, hey, Jen. I mean, you don't know anymore. You don't know anymore. That's what I've come down to.
Schmocation. That's crazy. I mean, if this thing gets to super intelligence in the next couple of years, everything's going to change too.
Yeah, Skynet. Like I that would be scary, I think.
Have you read like the 2027 paper and all that stuff?
I don't know if I want to. Like I already see enough, and I'm thinking, if this is where we're at now and the rate of acceleration, like you just can't believe anything you see anymore. You literally cannot believe it.
Yeah, these guys, just for fun rhetoric, and then we can wrap up. These guys basically, a lot of people always talk about the Skynet thing with AI. These guys actually modeled out like, okay, if you really were serious about the Skynet thing, how would it actually happen? And they like break it down month by month, starting now to 2027. Like things that get regulated.
The doomsday clock. Yeah.
What happens?
Is it happening?
I don't know. They wrote the paper in April. I think that like one of the big things that kind of actually drives it, interestingly enough, is it's almost like a nuclear arms race, except for AI between China.
It is. That's actually kind of scary because the threat of it. Yeah, I don't actually like to think of that part of it. But we are definitely in a race.
I think anyone watching this, if you watch this and you want to know more, Koka, how do they get in touch with you?
You can reach out to me at interruptmedia.com. You can always find me on LinkedIn. I'm just at Koka Sexton on LinkedIn. Yeah. That's probably the easiest way to reach out to me.
Okay. I'm going to have to next week do a post eating my words for this, but always crazy.
No, you don't have to eat your words. You just didn't know. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know. Because it's really hard to go signal through the noise. And there's a lot of hype out there and a lot of people fluffy out there doing fluff. And I'm like, you guys don't know. You guys are still scraping the surface. You're not doing it yet.
Yeah. I feel behind now. I'm going to go talk to my therapist. We're going to see what happens. Maybe I think we can forget about mom for a while and move on to this. I'm really excited about it. Koka, please go check out Interrupt Media. I'm going to end the recording now. Thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you everyone.